What's up, YouTube? What up, YouTube? What up, YouTube? What up, YouTube? So check this out. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and start this recording. Okay, and then that way we can capture a little bit of audio here, get some nerves out, and check the sound.
Are you
before we
nervous?
really get going. Me? No, I'm not nervous.
I'm always nervous. I'm
Really?
bundle of nerves.
But look, why?
Right?
No, this is
Me and the people you know.
That's right.
There's nothing to be nervous about.
when you're in here talking about one of your favorite passions in life. Like, there's nothing to be nervous about. It's just
Well, yeah, but it's not like there's 500 people watching you,
True.
right?
There's
It's
not.
yeah, we don't have that many subscribers yet.
And
Yeah.
you may after today.
Hey, by the end of the day, though, we should have this figured out.
Yeah.
Right.
Hopefully.
Like our microphone.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah.
We can just hold it here like this, and it'll capture both of us really well.
You're ridiculous.
All right. I'm excited to be here today. How about you, Dave?
I'm digging it. I'm ready.
All right. Do you want to hold that?
I'll hold it.
Okay. You're great at holding it. Okay. So,
Can't take this guy.
we are here today. It can barely take me in the woods. I gotta pee every 10 feet. So, we're here today with Jamie with Bowtech, and you're a sales rep.
Yep, I'm the sales rep for the Pacific Northwest.
That's awesome. So, what exactly does that mean? You deal directly with vendors like
Yep, there's
Joe and Megan here?
Yep. They have 4 locations. They've expanded. Their 4th shop is going to open in, I think, Battleground, Washington here, hopefully on Monday. Everything, basically Oregon, Washington, Idaho, Montana, and California. I cover. Travel has been reduced because of the pandemic we're experiencing, obviously.
Sure.
Still trying to be safe for everybody involved, and don't want to spread anything. But yeah, normally we travel, but with the pandemic and the demand in our industry today is like it has never been before.
Well, I've really noticed that on a lot of other things. Outdoor sports equipment is just blowing up right now because it's somewhere you can go, you can get away from people, you can do it with some distancing.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, I don't know if you guys, spend any time fishing in the summertime or, trying to swim at a lake or anything like that. And, we do a lot of things in the summer where, the water is part of it, whether it be at the coast, whether you're going out in the ocean fishing, going to the high lakes. We went to High Lake last year, Labor Day weekend, just to go swimming. And it was full.
Oh,
I mean, literally, there was nowhere to park.
really?
I mean, you could not, and there literally the access that was available for people, we just left.
Yeah.
There just was no, we literally drove down the road for almost 3/4 of a mile, and there was cars parked,
Oh,
and it was like, I've never seen nothing like it. Even though it was Labor Day weekend, I get that, but this is a high elevation lake, so it's not like it's, you gotta drive 20 miles on a gravel road to get to it. And there were boats, ocean type boats.
Oh, some big
Crazy,
big boats, huh?
yeah.
Well, that's cool. I mean, that was going to obviously be one of our questions is how is, the current times affecting bow sales?
Well, bow sales are still really good as far as taking orders. Now, fulfilling those orders is what the difficult thing is.
Mhm.
We're maxed out. We have added employees to the maximum ability. We've added machining vendors. We have multiple vendors building bowstrings for us, and that's, the bowstring material is a pacing item. The limbs are manufactured. Gordon Composite makes probably 60% of the industry's limbs, and they're running into issues with resin at this point. And the resin is what holds the carbon fiber pieces together.
Oh, yeah. That's
And then-
literally the glue.
The glue that holds it together, absolutely. So it's just, what's the struggle is you see the demand, you see the increase in business you could have, and you can't fulfill that.
You can't capitalize on it as
Right.
quickly as you'd like. Now I know that when a surge like this happens, there's also the pendulum swings the other way. In when we get back to normal, when things settle back down, people
Right.
have bought all their toys, and
Right.
so there may be a lull that comes later, and so you ramp up all of your productions, and you might find yourself in a position where you have to like cut back because.
And that is something that will happen in the future.
Yeah.
Is it going to be this year? Is it going to be next year? Typically, April, May, and June are the 3 slower months
Okay.
in the archery industry for retail sales, especially on the West Coast.
That makes sense. With hunting season coming in
Right.
around that
So
time.
July it starts picking up. California, Northern California, the first weekend of July, hunting season opens there.
Yeah.
So you get Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, 3 of the larger bow hunting states. They open in October. So they're busy in October. They're still busy in November. Where the West Coast, when September's over, hunting season's done, and now you have another traditional slow time. Last year, when the pandemic hit, everything started slowing down in May. I mean, literally, everybody stayed at home for 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Slow
Yeah.
curve.
Mm-hmm.
And so we started slowing stuff down, and by the time we got to May, opened it up, the floodgates just opened, and you could not, and it's been like that. It's been ever since that.
That's
Crazy.
amazing.
I mean, yeah,
Well, and hopefully, that I hope that as a society we learn from this and we decide to stay out more and do more of the outside activities, do more of the,
Sure.
congregate less indoors. Not that there's anything wrong with that per se, but I like to see people out and being active, and I think it's good for the society as a whole. So hopefully the trend will continue.
and
Yeah.
I think you're correct. There's a certain percentage of people. What we're seeing right now is we're seeing a lot of new archers coming into the sport that have never shot a bow before. Maybe they shot it in high school or middle school or something. But we're also seeing a lot of people that have been in the industry, they own equipment, they've shot in the past, and their lives have just taken them away from it. And now that spark of interest is there again. They already have some equipment, right?
Mhm.
So I need new arrows, I need new strings and cables on my bows, I need to change the draw length because I'm gonna let my grandson shoot the bow or whatever. And that exposure is coming. Now those people are gonna come back in it, and a certain amount of them are gonna stick with it, and we're gonna continue to have those. I think that we can retain, if we can retain 25% of the new customers that we've gained, it's a win-win. So when you talk about the slowdown, it's not going to be quite as dramatic as what it could be, because people are starting to, and it isn't just in the archery industry. I mean, it's the shooting industry.
It's anything outdoors.
Paddle boards.
Yeah.
I mean, try to buy a paddle board somewhere. I mean,
Right?
guns and ammo. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
there's different reasons for that too, but
Sure.
yeah, I'm hopeful that we're going to retain a lot of new customers in this, and I think it's going to continue. Like this shop has been here for a month. They're new, and a lot of people don't even know that they exist yet. And
Oh yeah. I'm
a
spreading
podcast
the
like
word
this
crazy.
is going to expose that. But I've talked to at least 12 to 15 people today, the first time here.
Yeah.
And they're excited because they're used to driving 25 to 30 miles in any direction to get a true pro shop.
Well, and that's just it. Pro shops are very specialized, and there's a lot of rules that govern them, and you wind up traveling to box stores and things because they're bigger, closer.
Product availability,
Product availability.
is great. Customer service is average.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what separates and makes a pro shop successful.
And that's
Absolutely.
one of the beauties that Dustin and I have been talking about. We've been really blown away here. We know a lot of the members that are on their tech team
Mhm.
they do their builds. They're amazing, and they're in the industry. They're not just
Right.
good at their job. They learn it through experience, years of
Absolutely.
shooting.
Yep.
And then they have the inventory here. We were out looking at it, and they had a wide range of Bowtech products, along with some others.
Yeah.
And you were saying that it wasn't just Bowtech bows that you guys did you?
Yeah, no, we have Pure Archery Group. We have a Bowtech and Diamond bows. We have Octane accessories. We've got black gold sights, ripcord arrow rests, which are manufactured in Montana.
Okay.
We have Excalibur crossbows. Tight spot quivers are manufactured in our Canadian facility in Ontario.
Okay.
And the accessories are in a higher demand because they'll fit any manufacturer's product.
Mm-hmm.
Where the bows, the specific customer is looking for it. And it's just, again, raw material, aluminum is, you're gonna get what you get. And we have, I would say right now on most of our accessories, we've got 12 to 13 week lead times.
Wow.
So to kind of piggyback off of that, you know, the industry doing better on orders, but not being able to necessarily fulfill those orders easily. With Bowtech's new line of bows, which one is selling best for you guys? Or are you getting more requests for it?
You know what? The whole lineup is selling well.
Really?
So we launched multiple new bows this year. We had 4 bows we launched in November. We had our Amplify, which is a bow that a 10-year-old could shoot. You and I could shoot it.
Okay.
So it'll go from like 15 to 70 pounds, and it's like, I think it's 18 to 30 inches in the draw length.
Wow.
So it's got a rotating module on it. It's got binary cams. So your timing on those are not, they're just a standard, you know, binary cam system. It's not like the overdrive or the deadlock system. But that bow is very, very popular right now. It's about an 8-week lead time on new orders.
Okay.
We have a new Eva Shockey bow, new Solution short draw, which are pretty much the same bow, but they have, you know, different aesthetics to them.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also have the Solution SS, which we launched as our flagships in January. And our Carbon Zion was our 4th bow we launched in November. So it's more of a mid-price point bow, and the demand for all of those new bows is literally, we can't build enough of them.
That's awesome. It's an awesome problem to have.
You know, in a perfect world it would be, and you have supply and demand issues, but every large manufacturer, whoever it may be, they're dealing with the same things we are. We're shipping more product than we ever have, but it's not enough for the demand that we have.
Yeah,
So
that's crazy.
I mean, in some of our accessories, we're up 50% in shipments for the year. So,
Oh wow.
and it's still not an adequate amount. And trying to juggle that, and my job, making sure my shops buy enough product, but not too much.
Yeah.
And you know, where you have a flagship bow that it's new for that year, and then it gets replaced. So there's a shelf life to that to maximize your profitability. And if you're overstocked, when the new bows come out, who wants to buy an old bow at the same price? So at that point, you have to reduce the price and you lose profit. So if I do my job properly, my shops don't have to have a bunch of overstock. Right now, it's like pin the tail on the donkey because you don't know how much is enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If they had 15 of them, is it going to last a week, a month, 2 months, or are they going to sell them in 3 days? And that's what we're finding. As fast as they're receiving the product, it's going out the door.
You should correlate deliveries with stimulus checks.
So now, now you're talking about a whole completely different.
Yeah.
That is part of what is creating.
Oh, absolutely. The demand.
So, you know, the government people say they're giving away free money. Obviously, it's not free.
Right. Nothing's
We're going to pay taxes on it for years to come, but it is stimulating our economy.
Yeah.
You know, from the very first one that the Trump administration gave us, and then the second one, which is a smaller one we got, and the one we recently got, that is what is spurring this. They have that disposable income. Couple that with tax season right now.
Mm-hmm.
So they have a secondary disposable income that people that, you know, are getting money back, and they're traditionally spending it. You know, maybe they're buying a new washer and dryer that they need. Maybe they're buying a new bow. Maybe they're buying a new gun, whatever it is. That money has stimulated the economy, and it is what has driven the outdoor. You look at a place like Chicago, Illinois, it's over 10 million people. They don't even, you realize in the whole city of Chicago, out of 10 million people, there's less than 40,000 hunting licenses sold.
What?
Less than 200,000 fishing licenses sold. So you think about the lifestyle that they live.
Yeah.
Those are not the people that are buying the paddle boards, that are buying the canoes, that are buying the archery equipment, because their life is completely different. They literally live, and the cost of living in a place like that is just astronomical. So they have to work so much just to have the lifestyle they have and to be able to live there, that they're not even stepping out. They don't even get to see what we have. So to live in the Pacific Northwest, to have what we have available to us, the public land that we have access to, the East Coast and Midwest don't have that access. Sure, there's public land in every single state, don't get me wrong, but not at the point that the state of Oregon has 27 wilderness areas It will never have a motorized vehicle, will never be logged,
Yep.
and it's open to the public. I mean, you can just go, because it doesn't matter what state you live in, you can drive to the state of Oregon and you can hike, you can horseback, you can do whatever you want. And more people, and again, because of that disposable income, they're adventuring out, and that's where you're seeing all those people out there. I mean, I went to on a hunt last year in a wilderness area. There was nowhere to park at the trailhead,
Yeah.
and you have to purchase a permit to park it. I ended up parking a mile away, and I just cut into the wilderness instead of going. I didn't want to go where everybody else was anyway. But I've never seen anything like that. So people have been encouraging. People aren't working. That
Yeah.
there's another situation, but it's our world today. We could have never guessed we would be where we are.
Sure.
And nobody knows. There's not going to be going back to a normal.
No.
It will not. It will not go back there. There's going to be something changed. This pandemic we're experiencing is not going to go away. People are being vaccinated. They don't know how long that vaccine's going to last. If it's going to have to be every single year, but it will impact our lives as we know it.
Absolutely. And I think after every major, catastrophe, there's society changing
Yep.
event, there's major, reconstruction of how we do things, which is great. I'm going to use that as a terrible segue to talk about any new changes and developments you have in the design of your guys'
Yeah.
flagship bows.
Yep.
I know that there's, I believe it's called the deadlock system for
Yep.
your cams.
Yep, the deadlock system, we introduced it on our Reckoning, was the first bow that we had, which was 2019. And then we had our Revolt X in 2020, which those bows are still selling. The demand for those bows a year older are still, we can't build them fast enough.
Yeah.
So, and then this year we have our Solution SS with that system. And the deadlock cam system allows the individual shooter to tune their own equipment. So you take a situation where you're at the range and you notice that your arrows aren't flying true. Rather than adjusting your arrow rest, which is what you would do with most cam systems, you literally can unlock the cam and you can move the cam left or right to compensate for the tuning of the bow, if you're paper tuning or whatever it is, without ever putting the bow in a bow press.
Now, I love the sound of that. The idea of
Yeah.
not having to carry my little portable cable, bow press that we've all carried.
Mm-hmm.
I do hesitate though with the, anything that moves, anything that can be, it has a screw on it, can be
Yeah.
loosened, can back off. Can you explain to us how that system actually works?
So basically the lock screw on the cam, it literally locks onto the axle. So it's not like it's holding something in place, like say a mod screw. A mod screw can come loose. You tighten it up. You don't want to over tighten it. You got aluminum and metal, so you have a point where it's right, and that's something you would check periodically, especially if you start hearing a vibration or a sound. But the deadlock system, the way it tightens down, there's a set screw that actually locks the axle in place. So when you tighten it down, it can't come loose. I mean, you literally have to loosen it up. So it's not like, it doesn't have a head like a typical screw would, because it is a set screw that is in the block of the deadlock system. So once it's locked in place, it doesn't move. It can't move. So you literally would have to physically make it back out to be able to move the axle. And I've actually, one of the bows I was just recently playing with here a couple weeks ago, I left the lock screws loose to see if they would vibrate out. I mean, I shot probably 1,000 arrows with those lock screws not tightened. It didn't move, but those lock screws, they backed out to the point where I could see they were flush to where the hole where they go in on the deadlock itself. And I just tightened it back down. That way I just tightened. But I was doing that more
set
for
screw move, but
yeah,
not the axle. Not
but
part
the
of
axle
knee.
the axle did not move in that time. But it was also in a controlled environment as
Sure.
far as the shooting indoors and stuff like that.
Well, and it's one of the innovations that I'm really excited about. Things like that make it easier to tune. You're putting, where is it? 2021 here. I mean, we've got some phenomenal technology out
Yep.
there, and I'm happy to see it make its way into archery. Now we've discussed this on one of our previous episodes, but there is that point in which you get a bow that's overtuned for the shooter, overtunable for the shooter. Where we all have that battle, right? Where it's is
Sure.
it me? Is it the bow? Is it me? Is it the bow? And so we were saying, you put these on your upper end bows. Do you put those same stops on, say, your entry level bow?
So we don't. So
Okay.
the cost of that system is too much for that. So in the Bowtech line,
Mhm.
we have binary cams on all of our bows. So our Amplify would be what our entry level bow, and it's like a bare bow would have a minimum retail price of like $629. That's the same technology that Hoyt has on their $1,800 bow.
Really?
So Hoyt has a carbon bow with a standard binary cam, and yes, the cam can be spaced and moved left and right, which is what our deadlock system does without ever putting the bow in a press. We own the patent on that.
Yeah.
So, but the binary cam that we came out with in 2005, we are paying another manufacturing industry royalties on that. Even though we designed it, we came out with it, we didn't get the patent before they were able to. So that patent will be up in a little while. But if you look at that, we started that in 2005, and what validated it is almost every manufacturer today has a binary type cam.
Yeah.
You mean, Matthews was Matthews single cam,
Yep,
right?
for
And you look at the
years.
Matthews, they market. They have their cams that you can use their top hat system to move left and right, and it is a type of a binary cam, but it's, they're not going to say it's binary, but it is a duplicate cam that is synchronized together, that the timing can be off slightly, and it's not like what a dual cam technology was. So I've been with the company for a lot of years.
It sounds
And,
like it. You know your stuff
Yeah.
and the history points
So,
too.
I mean, Bowtech shipped their first bows in 1999, November of 1999, and I owned a shop that received the first 15 bows they manufactured.
I'm not gonna say what I was doing in '99.
So I started working for the company in sales in 2002, so I've been there just right at 19 years now.
That's awesome.
Well, good for you. That's awesome.
So yeah, and to see the company grow from where it was to where it is today, and again, the binary cam is a superior cam system to a single cam or a dual cam because of the movement of that and the spine weight of arrow that's necessary. It's just more forgiving. And again, you look at any manufacturer and there's some type of a binary cam in there.
Right.
In their lineup.
Everybody has that at this point. And there's, Hoyt has their cam and a half system, which is basically your bottom cam is driving the power of the bow.
Yeah.
And the top cam is, instead of being a round idler wheel like a single cam would have, it is a cam that string attaches to, and still instead of having a 96-inch string, you've got a 60-inch string, which is going to stretch less, have less peak rotation, less settling, and then they have a secondary cable that attaches to the same cam that goes to the bottom cam that finishes it off. But it works similar to what a single cam system. So in my opinion, and that's all it is, those cam systems are not as effective or efficient as a binary type cam. And again, that's why almost every manufacturer has that technology in their lineup now.
That's awesome.
It is awesome.
So, with that said, here's my question for you. All that information is amazing. Why, to kind of wrap this up and bring it to a close, why should somebody choose Bowtech?
I want everybody to buy a Bowtech bow.
Sure.
I'm biased, but I'll tell you this. If somebody's in our sport, regardless of whose product they buy, we win. The industry wins as a whole.
True.
Absolutely true.
I mean, because the Northwest, where we're at and the products that we have, the volume of products that we sell in the Pacific Northwest, at some point they can buy any manufactured bow, but they're going to have one of Pure Archery Group's products on their bow. So I win. Right? No, seriously.
Yeah.
Somebody that is that wants the best, they want to be able to work on it themselves. The deadlock system is a no-brainer
That
because
sounds like it.
because you don't have to have a bow press. You don't have to own a bow press. When I set my bow up today, I put it in a bow press to put the peep sight in it and to keep the peep sight in line. That's the only time I ever do it. So the new Solution SS, there's 3 mod screws on the modules. The modules will rotate from, so the Solution goes from, I want to say it is 26 to 30. Or maybe it's 25 to 30, and the Solution SS is 26 to 31. And it'll adjust for anybody in that draw length. So, and you can move it in 1/2 inch increments. So that's another cool thing. By having that rotating technology on that module, you can get that fine-tuned for you. So you could change the length of your string loop by a 1/4 inch, maybe because you're a 1/4 inch long or short, and you can move those modules yourself. And I'm not saying that everybody should work on their own bows, because most people shouldn't. And that's the great thing about having a facility like this building. This population around here is going to come to this facility, and they're going to win because they have that ability to get their stuff taken care of.
Oh, absolutely. You know, I've been shooting for a number of years, you know, and I didn't have a lot of income when I started this sport. I did all of my
Right.
work myself because I couldn't afford to take it to a bow shop,
Right.
you know. And so I feel that I'm fairly proficient at adjusting bows or setting them up, etc. But when I did my tear down and I tore my bow down, repainted it, got new strings, you know, gave it a facelift.
Yeah.
I came in and I went to Ryan, who's
Right.
one of the pro staff here.
Yep.
And I said, Ryan, man, you know, I trust that guy to do my work. And, you
Sure.
know, and so even someone like myself and Dustin here, who's been in the game, we're very handy, we like to do it ourselves. It still benefits us to come to a pro staff, people who do this all day long,
Yep.
every day, and let them do it.
Well, and you know, the technology where we're at today, that's smart, because you could make a mistake if you're not 100%. And if that happens and the whole bow comes apart, and all of a sudden, you know, you could be spending $300, $400, $500 to fix your bow.
Oh, if you don't get injured in the moment, it goes kaput.
Depends on how
Yeah,
badly
it
you
does
mess
happen.
up what you're doing.
Most of
Right,
the-
yeah,
To
exactly.
be honest with you, most of the injuries that I've seen over the years, you know, you get a string slap, you maybe get a little cut or a hematoma in your arm.
Yeah.
But most of the injuries that I've seen in our industry is when somebody's damaged one of their carbon arrows. They're not aware that it's damaged, and that arrow breaks when they shoot it. So,
Yep.
you know, you guys have seen
Flex
pictures where people.
First.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Flex
mean,
it first.
that was in one of our videos.
Yeah.
We did.
Well, the arrow manufacturers, I mean, it boils down to what did you do to the arrow to make it do it, because we manufactured it where it wouldn't do that. So but that's really the only injury that I've seen in our industry. I mean, I've watched guys do cable rods, you know, like go let their bow up too fast and the cable rod's long and jam it into their hand. But it's so few of
Yeah.
you know, situation like that. And then people, I mean, some people are just stupid. You know, how many people
It's true though.
draw their bow back and shoot it without an arrow in it?
Yeah. It happens.
It happens.
that happens by
all the
accident.
time. No, I mean,
Tim Gilligan did it in a live
absolutely.
video.
You know, but that was something that you're talking about, a pro archer. That's what the way he makes his living, and he drew Jim Burnworth's bow back and just dry fired it right there on stage.
Yeah.
And it was, you know what? He still hears about it all the time. But I've been standing next to guys where they get so into what they're doing, they literally forget to knock an arrow and they draw back and they shoot their bow.
Yeah.
And then you have an expensive cost. So again, having a pro shop here like AWrld to be able to fix that and take care of it, and they have, you know, Ryan is as good a technician as you're going to find in the world. Not just on the West Coast, his experience,
good.
and they're very fortunate to be able to have him work for him. He's going to be able to take his experience and train his employees to do stuff the right way.
Yeah.
And I've met the guys here today, and they're very passionate about what they're doing. They're excitable people, and they're going to do very well here. So,
Yeah, we are also very excited for them.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, thank you very much for your time
Absolutely.
today, sir. We really appreciate having you and the opportunity to talk to you.
Yep, absolutely. Anytime.
All right. Well, remember,
I appreciate
folks, hunt hard, hunt smart, and be safe.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks.
You bet.
Doink. Boop.
That's awesome.
That was a great clip.
That was super awesome.
Here's your other
Yeah.
thingamajigger bobber.
No, I appreciate
Who's it?
Yeah, so if you guys live in this local area,
it. I do.
Or a
Yeah,
federal
I'm
area.
about 25.
you don't,
26
so you
years
know, when I said Ryan's as good as anybody in the world,
Yeah.
he's as good as anybody. And you know,
Oh.
did you guys meet him? Have you met Henry Bass?
I grew up with Ryan.
Henry.
Bass?
Oh,
I have not.
yeah.
So Henry is at a different level than Ryan. Ryan's a good shot,
Oh yeah.
but Henry's at a different level. So Henry isn't just a good shooter. Henry manipulates his equipment to do what he wants it to do. So when you're at his level, it don't matter which bow manufacturer you're shooting.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's not shooting, he's shooting for PSE. But Henry, I mean, I talked to Henry and bows that he shot in the past, and I remember him telling me about taking an old credit card and cutting it in half and putting it in a limb pocket on one side to level the limb out,